Alright, I'm going to say this first so that the bulk of you will see it. This is going to be my last video for a while. I don't know how long. As far as the game on Thursdays, probably not going to do it this week, but after that we'll see. I'll probably get back to doing that long before I'm going to get back to actually publishing videos on a regular basis, but I gotta take a break. Like, I gotta take a real legit break. Usually whenever I take a break, I don't really take a break. I just stop posting videos. I still do all the same shit. I need to legit take a break. I need to get away from everything for as long as it needs to happen for. Why have I come to this decision? Well, I have an interesting story for you. The story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Those of you who are relatively normal, I defy you to predict the middle. And those of you who are not, I defy you to predict the end. I have depression. And I have suicidal thoughts. I don't have suicidal tendencies. I haven't actually tried to kill myself in a very, very, very long time. But my brain doesn't like me. It doesn't want me to sleep, and it doesn't want me to be happy all the time. So, fighting with my brain a lot. And last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was pretty bad. It's been pretty bad for weeks now, but it got really bad Monday, Tuesday, and then it got really, really bad on Wednesday. And I started to kind of try and pull myself out of it Wednesday night. You know, I have things that I know to do. So Thursday I woke up and I'm just like, still just felt like shit. And I'm like, alright, I need to get my meds. I need to get to the doctor. I need to figure out what's going on here. I sent a text to my boss saying I'm not going to make it. He sent me a text back saying, look, we're in a bad way here. If you can make it physically in, we need you. And I was like, well, they're going to fucking call me anyways. It's not even going to be an actual thing. It's not going to be the ordeal that it usually is. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I can just go in. So I went into work. Fuck it, I'll just call them, you know, on break or whatever. And then tell them I need my meds refilled and whatever. We'll have whatever conversation we need to have or whatever. Get it going, right? About an hour and a half into the day, I just got really agitated. I don't know what the fuck it was. I just got really fucking agitated. And I went in the bathroom, and I'm kind of like pacing in the bathroom, just agitated as shit. I didn't know what the fuck was going on with me. I didn't know what was agitating me so much. And then I was like, alright, you know, I'd go back out to work. And I went out and I got onto my tow motor and I started to get really weak and I started to feel really faint and I couldn't breathe. And I was taking big panic breaths, and then I went into my boss's office because he was the only one that was in his office. And I had a little panic attack, nervous breakdown, whatever you want to call it. I called paramedics. Paramedics came and got me. Got an ambulance ride to the hospital. My first ever. In the hospital, they calmed me down and got me, you know, to where I was getting relaxed. I was laying in, you know, in the cot, just kind of not really sleeping, but, you know, just kind of coming in and out. And they woke me up at one point and brought in a TV, brought in a virtual doctor. And I'm like, all right. And then they're, you know, looking at it, and they're like, well, I guess he'll call whenever he's ready to call. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I kind of, you know, go back to in and out. Wake up again when the doctor on the TV. Hello? And they're just fucking around. Finally, he starts talking to me, and I mean, he's just reading off questions from a piece of paper. And I'm answering the questions to the best of my knowledge, you know. And I'm trying to explain certain answers, because certain answers are not fantastic. And he asked me if I'd ever thought about hurting myself. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I have suicidal thoughts. Of course I've thought about hurting myself. And then he asked me if I've ever made plans. And I'm like, yeah, I sit around and daydream plans for all sorts of stuff. Like, it depends on where I'm at in my depression. If I'm planning what I'm going to do later on that day in a video game, or if I'm planning how I'm going to fucking kill myself. Like, I make plans. Making plans is just one of the things I do. And then he asked me if I had guns, if I had any weaponry in the house. I said, yes, I do. So, that interview, you know, came and went. And a little while later, nurse comes in, and she starts kind of explaining to me what's going to happen now. And she's like, we're going to take you to another building, and we're going to check you in, and we're going to hold you for 72 hours. And I started giving all of the reasons why that is going to be an extremely bad idea. I'm an insomniac. I don't sleep except under very certain conditions. I have spent decades making my home those conditions. Not only that, but I'm just shy of being a shut-in. I never go out anywhere. I never do anything. I don't like to. I'm in my own little environment. I'm in the center of my web. I don't like to leave. And I said, and she just didn't fucking care. Like, she's just sitting there looking at me like, I don't know why you're telling me all of this. I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, I don't have a choice in this, do I? And she said, no. And so from that point on, I'm like, well, fuck it then. What am I going to do? And I cooperated in body, but not in mind or mouth. I didn't miss an opportunity to make sure that my displeasure was felt by everyone involved. The EMS guy came up to me and he's like, we're gonna, you know what's going on? And I'm like, yes, you're gonna kidnap me. And he goes, it's not really what it is. And I'm like, well, when you take somebody from one place against their will and transport them to another place against their will and then hold them there, it's called kidnapping. And he goes, yeah, but I mean, it's not like it's, you know. I said, yeah, whatever. And he's like, look, man, it's just my job. And I said, dude, what happens when one day your job is to kill people? Are you going to tell people it's just my job? he didn't really. He just kind of put his head down and then left. Like, I think he knew I was not going to be fucking. He was not going to be my friend. Because he was my kidnapper. So they bundled me up. And they put me into another ambulance. I got my second ambulance ride. It was about a half an hour ride. I had no idea where I was going. No idea where they were taking me. No fucking clue. We get there. I have no idea where I am. No idea where they've taken me. Nobody tells me anything. They take me up and walk me through the building. Take me in to the second floor. To the nut house. I sit down with a social worker of all fucking things to check me in. The conversation with her did not go particularly well. I was of course confrontational because I had been kidnapped against my will, legally, and brought to a place where more harm was going to be done to me than good. And I tried to explain all of this to her, and she kept telling me that she doesn't have the power to change anything. And I said, what the fuck are you here for then? She said, I'm here to check you in. And I said, well, then check me in. So stop acting like you can in some way help me. You can't, unless you can let me out of here. She asked me, this made me laugh. She said, has anyone ever told you you have anger management issues? There's just something in the way that she said it. I looked at her, I said, not until just now. I said, I'm always pretty nice to people, but of course, you're my first kidnapper. So, I guess this is what I'm like to people like you. I asked repeatedly to everybody that I possibly could, anybody that came into the room and started asking me questions, I said, I have a question for you. What exactly is supposed to be the mental health benefits of forced incarceration and crushing debt? Nobody had an answer until the psychiatrist. I'll give you her answer when we get to her. I thought that was a pretty good question. Nobody seemed to be able to answer it. My first night was terrible. They got me kind of checked in, and like it was so weird. They get me in the room. They give me my green pants and my long green whatever the fuck. Told me I was allowed to keep my socks and underwear, nothing else. Not allowed to have your own clothing for 24 hours. Like, I'm not entirely sure what exactly that's supposed to do, keeping your clothes from you for 24 hours. I don't know. But we weren't allowed to have our clothes for 24 hours. I had a roommate. Looked like he was suffering from absence seizures. Nurse came in and started talking to him, and he's talking to her, and then he would just kind of trail off and then stare at her. And she'd be like, you with me? And he'd go, yeah. So, you know, looked like he was having absence seizures. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and nevertheless. I did not help her diagnose. It's her job, not mine. My roommate was a pretty nice guy. I mean, he mostly just sat in bed and slept, which also was mostly what I did. I got out, like, I got checked in and everything. I think I was checked in by like 5, 6 o'clock, something like that. I went out into the rec room, watched a couple episodes of Big Bang Theory until it was about 7 o'clock, and I said, well, if I plan on getting any amount of substantial sleep tonight, I might as well start now. So I went in my room and went to bed. At some point a nurse came in to ask us how we were doing. I had mentioned that I was not feeling well, my stomach, so an upset stomach, stress. She offered to bring me some Maalox. I said thank you very much. And then I started asking her questions. She didn't have answers. And then my roommate, he started in with her, so it was kind of the both of us against her, and then she just left. She came back with some Maalox for me. I thanked her. I took it. She also brought me one of my sleeping pills. I said I don't really take those because I don't like them, so I didn't take it. Later on that night, I woke up, got sick, threw up. I imagine it was a mix between the cigarette withdrawals, because I was not allowed to have a cigarette. I had one cigarette the whole day on Thursday, so by the nighttime I was fairly well sick. Between withdrawals from cigarettes and nerves and just agitation and all of that, threw up. This was the second time I had thrown up that day, mind you. The lunch that I was served at the first hospital was, as far as I was concerned, unedible. I ate a couple of the wilted, nasty, fucking chopped up cuties. That was about all I could stomach. Whatever the fuck stir fry, whatever the fuck thing that was that they gave me, and I opened it up, took one whiff, and was like, fuck no. I ain't eating that shit. Hell no. Because it smelled literally like shit. And I don't mean like just smelled like shit. Like, I mean literally, it's rotten egg smell. Like, it smelled like shit. So, didn't eat lunch, other than a couple of slices of cutie. I tried the tea. That was the bitterest tea I've ever had in my life. I had one sip of it and was like, Jesus Christ. The dinner that they gave me at the Nut House, I figured you can't fuck up baked macaroni and cheese, right? I'm like, baked macaroni and cheese. I can eat baked macaroni and cheese. You can't fuck up baked macaroni and cheese. Come on. Baked macaroni and cheese. Bake me some macaroni and cheese. I don't understand how you can make baked macaroni and cheese that tastes so shit and bland. So I tried to shovel down as much of that as I possibly could, swallowing it with giant cups of water. Didn't work. I ate very much Thursday. Well, I didn't eat very much. A couple of slices of cuties, a couple of noodles. That was all I had Thursday. Friday, still in the fucking place. And I'm trying to get someone who actually has some degree of power over the situation to talk to me. Everybody wants to talk to me, and I say, can you get me out of here? No, I don't have the power for that. And what the fuck do I want to talk to you for? I went to group. They came in at like 7 o'clock. They're like, we're having group. I was still thinking, well, I will participate as much as I can. Right? So I went to group. Partway through group, I raised my hand, started asking questions. Because I'm like, look, I got a question. I'm in here for a panic attack, not a suicide attempt. Why am I in here on suicide watch for a panic attack, not a suicide attempt? And they said, well, there were ways that you answered questions that made us worried. And I said, you didn't ask for clarification. I'm like, the TV didn't ask for clarification on anything. He didn't go in depth, and he never asked me if I actually wanted to die. He just asked me if I thought about it and if I owned weaponry. I'm here for a panic attack. And then other people started popping up with, yeah, I'm here for this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I turned the entirety of the group against her. And I had the whole group fucking agitated and up. And I decided, well, okay, I'm not going to get in trouble for this shit. I'm not going to get in trouble because everybody else is crazy and I'm just pissed. I'm like, so I just kind of shut up, didn't say anything else. And then we were doing write shit down therapy. Write down. The question that I loved the most was, write down what you would like to accomplish while you're here. And I said to more properly readjust the moral compass of the staff. None of the ladies liked me very much that were there. I can say that I didn't like my captors very much either. There were constant threats at me that I believe were undeserved. I was asked if we have to physically restrain you, would you like us to call somebody? I said, you're not going to have to physically restrain me. And they said, yes, but if we do. I said, if you do, please do me a favor and call the police and tell them that you are in the midst of assaulting me, because I will not deserve it. I am not going to need to be accosted physically in any way. I said, so call the police. Or call me a lawyer. One or the other. Because if any of you touch me, it's going to be assault. Nobody needed to touch me. I never attacked anybody. I never yelled at anybody. So, yeah, their assumptions, again, assholes. So, whatever. It was around 10 o'clock or so. And I get two nice looking ladies walk in. And I was short with them for all of about 10 seconds. Until they explained to me, we are the people with power. Me, this lady. We are the people with the power. I'm the psychiatrist. She's the social worker. We're in charge of this shit. And I became a very, very nice person to them. I explained to them the situation of what was going on. I explained to them the errors that put me there. They agreed with me wholeheartedly. They took one look at me and said, And they told me that I was going to be discharged immediately. The social worker called my parents to tell them to come and get me. And during the conversation, the social worker told my father, we are doing more harm to him by keeping him here than just by letting him go. Now, had the fuckhead social worker or the shitfuck psychiatrist been there when I was checked in, they might have noticed that and decided, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and send him home. We're not even going to bother with this. I can think of a mental health reform that we need. 24/7 fucking psychiatrists there to assess and evaluate whether or not somebody needs to be put in for 72 hours. Whether or not such a thing is going to do more harm than good. Yesterday was the first day I didn't feel violated and on edge and terrified for my freedom. The entirety of the day Friday, the entirety of the day Saturday, I was still an emotional fucking wreck. Sunday I started to come around, but not until very much the end of the day. Today I went to work, everything is fine. The trauma of the event is still with me. I don't think it's ever going to go away. It was dehumanizing to a degree I've never felt before. So, all I needed was my meds refilled. That was it. I just needed my meds refilled. I was going to call them and be like, hey, I need my meds refilled. And then they were going to go, okay. And then they were going to do that. And then I was going to work the rest of the day and go home, get my meds on the way home. But instead of getting my meds filled by calling them and saying I need my meds filled, I had a panic attack, which got me locked up for 24 hours and then got my meds filled. I don't know what caused the panic attack. I really don't. Nothing specifically that I can point my finger at triggered it. However, I will say that for the past couple of months, I have not been doing well. So, I'm going to take a legit break. When I come home from work, take off the work clothes, shower, come out here, and it's going to be having fun time. I have a lot of fun doing YouTube, doing, videos for you guys and stuff like that, but I'm commentating on the collapse of our society. This is not good times for me. So I need to step away for however long I need to step away for. I will still be in communication with you guys through Discord. I will still be talking, of course, to the gaming group because, like I said, that's kind of pure fun. I don't want to stop doing that. I have fun doing that at the very least. But as far as other content, probably won't be happening for a while. Everything is going on the back burner. Everything is going on pause. At the very least, the rest of this month, I'm just not going to do shit. No game, no nothing, no videos, no nothing. I'll talk to you guys on Discord, but probably sparingly. I'll probably answer things more than anything else. And I'm stepping away from all of it. I have no reason in my mind right now to think that I won't be coming back. I will definitely be coming back to YouTube and doing videos for you guys as soon as I can. But I need to step back from the fall of civilization and just try and find some enjoyment in life for a while. So there's a lot of things that happened last week. A lot of things I'm missing, a lot of things I'm skipping, a lot of funny things that I just This is also the first time that I've ever actually gone through the whole story. They didn't beat me. They didn't physically abuse me. They did verbally abuse me. And they did emotionally abuse me while I was in there. So there's that. But I verbally and emotionally abused them too. So tit for tat, I don't know, I guess, but I was a patient. They're doctors. Whatever. We can discuss whether or not it's right for whoever to do it, but I was also kidnapped against my will for no good reason, as evidenced by the doctors or the social workers saying we're doing more harm to him than good. So, yeah. That was the harrowing end to my week. Thursday, about 8:30, I had a panic attack. Friday, at about 2 o'clock, I got home. There was a kidnapping in between there. Again, I will be back, just not for a while. I'm gonna, like I said, at the very least, all production at EgoCast Productions is shut down until, what are we, April? May. May 1st is the closest likelihood you're going to get a video from me. I'm fucking out till then. And I'm not going to pay attention to the news. I don't fucking care. I'm not doing it. I'm going to fully get myself on an actual, for real break. So that is my story. That is what happened to me. That is why you haven't heard from me since Wednesday. And that is why you won't be hearing from me for the rest of this month. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. See you when I get back.